the time has come. So
The
let's take a
time
deep
has
breath.
come.
Let's do our 1, 2, 3 breaths, our Pilates yoga breaths, and let's brace for impact. Go ahead, Alicia, take it away. Let me take a
So,
drink of water while you do this.
listen, I wish I had some near me because I would
I
definitely
need a
take a
little
drink.
something.
But the USA women's basketball roster, I guess it was kind of unofficially announced, but
Yeah, I
it's
thought it was,
official.
I thought it was beneficial, but what do I know?
They announced it
Listen.
today,
Yeah.
like
So,
officially.
okay, thank you, Emma. The actual official roster was announced today, and you would think people would be talking about who is on it, right? But they really were talking about who was left off the roster, and that
Mhm.
was Caitlin Clark.
Mhm.
And it has since been announced that she's like probably more likely on the short list to be a replacement player, just in case there's an injury. But regardless, people, I mean, it just caused so much controversy this week. It was everywhere on every single channel,
It's a
which is
shocker.
beautiful. Yeah, which is, listen, I love that women's sports is getting the attention that it deserves, but also it just seems to be just like controversy after controversy after controversy. So, with that said, I'm going to give you just a little bit of what the roster had on it, right? Because so many people have not focused on that. So
Mhm.
there were 3 first timers on the roster: Sabrina Ionescu, Alyssa Thomas, and Kalia Copper, excuse me.
Mhm.
Um, Clark, Brianna Jones, Aaliyah Boston, like I just said, but all of them are reportedly on the short list for injury replacement. Diana DT, listen, and that's another point that people were kind of arguing, like, should she still be on this team, which is ludicrous, but
Mhm.
she'll go for her 6th Olympic gold medal, her 6th Olympics in a new all-time international basketball record.
Mhm.
So those are some, and they're going for 8 straight. I believe they're going for 8 straight gold medals. And it's also important to note that 7 out of the 12 that are on the team also were on the gold team in Tokyo.
Mhm.
So when you look at those stats and the players that are on the team, and then obviously who was left off, what are your thoughts on this Olympic roster?
I okay. I didn't think this was a thing, and I'm still confused as to why it's a thing. And I tweeted this, and I had a couple of tweets that I had put out because I saw the segment on one of the other sports shows that kind of caught fire, went viral on social media, and I was just very confused what the issue was because look, I don't think anybody is saying that Caitlin Clark would not have been a asset if there were 20 spots on the roster, but there's not. There's a certain amount of spots on the roster. We're talking about a rookie, and also people have failed to realize when you're a rookie, there's certain training camps and things that you have to go ahead and go to, especially as a first time potential Team USA representative, right? And to no fault of her own, her schedule will not allow that. The girl just left college 2.5 months ago. There's a lot that has happened. So, in that regard, I thought that that was common knowledge. So, I was confused as to why we were arguing this. I'm also confused on this whole take behind the ratings because it's the Olympics. Like, I don't know if people realize that, like, if Team USA is playing Croatia. It's just the first country that can come to mind. So I don't know why, it just is. Do you think Croatia gives a damn that Caitlin Clark is not suiting up for Team USA? They don't care. Do you think London, who turns in and to watch this game, cares that Caitlin Clark's not suiting up for team? You're talking about a global sporting event that does millions and millions of views every 4 years. This is not the all-star game that you can say, okay, well, popularity matters. And if you want to bring eyes to it, you got to go ahead and make sure Caitlin Clark's in that game. That I could understand. Caitlin Clark being snubbed from an all-star roster would be like, okay, now we have a conversation. We're talking about the Olympics. The Olympics has never been a popularity contest. It has always been the country sends over the best of the best to represent America against the other countries. Now, that doesn't mean that if you didn't make the roster, you're not the best of the best, but the roster includes the best of the best. We have a lot to choose from. Not everybody can make the roster. It sucks. It is the way it is. In 4 years from now, when the Olympics turn back around and they're in Los Angeles, I guarantee you Caitlin Clark will have a Team USA jersey on and everybody can calm down. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't see why this is a controversy.
I don't see why it's a controversy either, except for this is a case of the casual fan, the casual women's basketball fan who doesn't understand
Or
what the
basketball
Olympics.
fan in general, because it's basic understanding of the Olympics, but
We
go
would
ahead.
think that it was basic, but we all know that common sense is not common, right?
This is true.
So the goal of the Olympic team is to win a gold. That
Mhm,
is what it is for. It is not for marketing. It is not for increased attendance, rather.
mhm,
It is not for ratings. It is to win a gold. We are
mhm,
going for 8. You pick
mhm,
the best players that have put in the work and have shown that they are good for the team that is going to win the gold and the spots that are needed on that team to win the gold.
mhm,
This is not a we just need to get fans into the arenas. That's not
mhm.
what we're doing here. We're actually representing our country and going for gold, and that does not equal just putting a player on because while she has done a lot for the sport, she is just not ready for an experience like this.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
also, it's a lose-lose situation because let's say you
yeah.
put her on the team and you take someone off who is deserving and could really put an impact onto the team. Not to say that she wouldn't have any impact, but I'm saying
Mhm,
who we know through all the camps that they have to go through and all of the 4 years of preparation for this, 3 or 4 years
mhm.
of preparation. If you put her on and let's say the ratings don't go up, well, then why did you put Caitlin Clark on the team? There's always going to be something. And also, I
Mhm,
think that the casual fan doesn't know that there are other people that were snubbed that should be on before Caitlin,
mhm,
like Arike Agumbawale.
mhm.
I mean, 1000%, that is the conversation that we should have had instead of Caitlin. If you actually know women's basketball and understand Olympic basketball and what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, the word snub may not even be the right word, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't think when I say you send the best, people had an issue when I said, well, you send the best of the best to represent the country. And that's not saying that if you're not on the roster, you're not the best of the best. But I think also things come into play experience. You send, that's why you see a lot of the same faces represent the country. You see it on the men's side, you see it on the women's side. Brianna Stewart, I believe, has been 3 times. Like you see a lot of familiar faces because it's a different level of competition, the different level of preparation and the experience. Again, not every there are first time Team USA members. We see it. But you mix that in with predominantly a lot of experience because that experience makes all the difference. This is not, just the WNBA league or the NBA league where it's like, okay, well, you lose a game, we're gonna see Minnesota again in 2.5 weeks. We can go ahead and make sure we get. No, you mess up against Japan. That's it. There's nothing, you know what I mean? There's no spin in the block on that. You don't get to play them again in a few weeks. It's a one and done situation. So you send a combination of experience, you send a combination of talent, and you go ahead and create the best roster going ahead and adhering to both of those needs. And obviously, there's more intricate details that are in the mix, but we're talking about a country being USA that has consistently won the gold in this particular sport on both the men and the women's side. I think that the committee knows what they're doing. It's not a conspiracy against Caitlin Clark. And I understand that she's the lightning rod. And if you want to go viral, if you want people to, subscribe, like, comment, whatever, you talk about her. But now we're not even making sense because people, and I tweeted this as well, are acting like we went to LA Fitness, rounded up 12 women, put them in Team USA jerseys over Caitlin Clark and said, y'all are going to Paris. These are not random individuals. Like, these are gold medalists. These are world champions. These are rookies of the year. These are DPOYs. These are MV. I mean, they're not a group of random women. I don't understand what the issue is.
No, not a group of random women. And the process that they go through to even get to this, she wasn't really a part of, and
Not and again, to no
that's not
fault of
her
her
fault.
own. Her
It's not her
schedule just
fault.
did not allow that.
Yeah, her schedule
Right.
didn't allow it. But I will say one thing about this that I actually think is gonna serve Caitlyn better
Mhm.
is that she's gonna get a break. And literally, I mean, she has gone from you could even count both of her last 2 college seasons were a
Mhm.
whirlwind, and then going to the draft, and then being on a team, and literally playing almost, like, immediately after you get into training camp. She has been through a lot, just like all of the rookies have, right?
Mhm.
Because they've all been on that same path, and I think that for the longevity of their career, this is going to be
Mhm.
good for them to get a break. And also, Caitlyn said it herself. She said that this is going to literally, like, light a fire underneath her to
Mhm.
be an impact on Olympics to come, So I think that in the long run, even though people
Mhm.
can't see it, it's gonna
Mhm.
serve Caitlyn better as well.
And I think also, I mean, when we talk about the history of rookies who have made an Olympic team, right? I wanna say I'm looking at it right now, you had Rebecca Lobo in '96, you had Taurasi in 2004, you had Candace Parker in '08, you had Brianna Stewart in '16, and I believe in 1992, there was a rookie on the dream team, Christian, I'm forgetting his last name, but it's very rare for rookies to make Olympic teams. But when you talk about the WNBA side, and let's focus on that, we're talking about Candace Parker, Brianna Stewart, I mean, this is no knock to Caitlin Clark because she has done so much in such a short amount of time, especially when you talk about her collegiate career. But Candace Parker won a national title. Brianna Stewart won 4 of them. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about women who have come in. That transition from collegiate to professional was a little bit smoother, and that smoother may not be the right word, but I'm gonna use that for lack of a better word, because they have won national titles, maybe they were physically more ready for that transition. Caitlin Clark has a she's right now in what we like to call the rookie rut. Like, she's trying to figure out who she is in this space as a professional player. Her body's not where it needs to be yet. Her decision making's not quite where it needs to be yet. The pace, her court awareness, it gets better and better every game. But it's no knock to her that she's not ready yet. And it's very rare to be a rookie and to be ready in general for the professional league, but especially for the Olympic team. And when I say Candace Parker and Brianna, those are anomalies. Those are exceptions to the rules. They're not the rule. They were further along than I feel like Caitlin is. So I just want people to kind of look at things case by case and stop trying to make it a generalized blanket. She will be on Team USA for the LA Olympics. It's going to be okay, everyone. You'll go ahead and be able to root for her in 4 years from now. Let's enjoy the women we sent to Paris and let's go win the gold. Simple as that.
Right. Focus on the gold and
Focus on the
woosah.
gold.